The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
The Jets hit the practice field for another day of OTAs, and this one was open for the media, but they didn't get to see much. We'll explain why. Nick Faria from Sports Illustrated will join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We're sitting in here, we're excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Jets, let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans and Nick fans. Let's go Knicks tonight, Game 4 of the NBA Finals. I am jacked up, ready to go. We'll be in the building tonight. Our guy Lou B's in the chat. I will be seeing you soon, Lou. Let's go Knicks. Before we get to anything on the Knicks, we got a lot to talk about with the Jets. That's right, OTAs continued today. The Jets were on the field. Mike Westhoff was in attendance, always good when you could bring in the great Westhoff. It was a heavy special teams period, so there wasn't a whole lot of offense or defense. Both of those position groups had walkthroughs. So you're going to hear my conversation that I taped with Nick Faria before the show today because Nick had to drive home and sit in traffic. So I wanted to make sure that we brought someone on that was actually there that could recap everything that went down at One Jets Drive. Before we do that, though, a couple programming notes. One, we are presented by PrizePicks. 2, in honor of the Knicks run, here's the giveaway at the end of the show. It is a Knicks playoff towel and a limited edition NBA Finals replica game ticket, fresh from Madison Square Garden. I'm holding it in my hand. It's what they gave out to all the fans in attendance for Game 3. So if you want that and a Knicks playoff towel, make sure you enter the raffle before the show is over. When you do that, you're in the weekly raffle. This Friday will be the weekly raffle because I'm traveling over the weekend. Your chance to win a signed Cat jersey, signed Garrett Wilson framed jersey art print, signed Aaron Glenn, end zone pylon, and a signed Richard Todd jersey. So we will play you the full conversation with Nick, recapping OTAs. We'll come back, react to what he said, take your calls, and have the raffle at the end of the show. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us live right now, the great Nick Faria.
Faria, will he go to push his Jets takes? How far will he go to get the Jets to trade for bad Eagles players? How far will he go to confuse Asmaniacs as to where he works because he keeps changing jobs like twice a week? It's the great Nick Faria!
Nick Faria joins us now live from a Panera right near the New York Jets training facility. Nick, kind enough to sit down with us and recap what was an intriguing day at One Jets Drive. Special teams period galore, and they didn't even let the media watch the kickers. So we have no kicking stats to report on. Nick, what happened out there?
No kicking stats, a lot of special teams work, a lot of just walkthroughs on offense. So if you're looking for a massive report today for me to say this guy looks good, that guy looked good, I don't have any of that. None of that happened today. A lot of special teams, a lot of stuff, a lot of walkthroughs, but that was by design. Aaron Glenn today spoke, kind of warned us early, like, listen, yesterday we worked in the red zone. We did a lot of work in the red zone. We'd love to have been there to see that, obviously, but today's all special teams. So got a little bit of that. No kicking stats. So if you're looking for anything more than that, unfortunately, there's nothing myself, Rich Cimini, or any other reporter can really give you.
There was an interesting comment from Glenn when he spoke at his presser before the practice that you guys watched that Cade's not going to be out there. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, Cade York is still injured. But no, it's Cade Klubnik, the Jets' rookie 4th-round pick. What's the latest with Cade Klubnik and his apparent injury?
Yeah, nothing really too serious. I'm trying to remember what he said. I think he said it was his back or something. But again, nothing serious. They expect him to be ready to go for mandatory minicamp next week. Just want to be cautious. I mean, this is a guy that's going to be competing for the backup quarterback spot. You want to make sure that he's healthy in order to be able to do that. So they essentially gave him the day off in what was a walkthrough overall.
Before we get to some of the other things that stood out, I know you guys had a chance to speak with several of the Jets assistant coaches, which is notable. Let's talk more about Glenn's presser. What stood out? Anything notable that he said that you were intrigued by?
It's the same thing. He kind of said something similar last week, and he's been saying this repeatedly. And, Jake, I know you've been critical of Glenn. We've all really been critical of Glenn. But I do have to give him flowers for one thing. He is far more intentional this year with his practice plan, with what he wants to do from a schematic standpoint, and that's allowing him to sort of focus on what he wants to see from his team on the field. I think last year he got kind of sucked into the Steve Wilks trying to marry his preference and Steve Wilks' preference and meshing that together to build a cohesive defense, which obviously was a disaster. I don't know if it's going to work out, obviously, with Aaron Glenn. I can't sit here and say this guy's going to win 10 games. This guy's the real deal. We saw a lot of the bravado last year, and nothing really came of it. They won 3 games. But he's far more intentional this year, and I think it could lead the Jets to a more disciplined, a more focused, and I think an overall better group than they were last season. You are seeing a lot of the mistakes that Aaron Glenn made last year get fixed up early on in this process.
Do you think him calling the defense is ultimately going to be a good thing for this team, or is there a chance it's maybe too much responsibility for a guy who at times, let's be fair, really did struggle with just the basic premise of being an NFL head coach, having his team ready, challenges, game situation scenarios.
Seemed overwhelmed. Yeah,
right.
I completely agree. I think the one thing you looked at from Aaron Glenn last year is he looked overwhelmed from an entire perspective. And to make a comparison, Robert Saleh kind of said something similar. It was like not calling plays took him out of what the focus should be in those situations. So I think there is experience, there is history of play calling coaches keeping those duties and actually just being really good head coaches, because it allows them to focus not only on their side of the ball, but allow them to be ingrained into the everyday, every play kind of feel instead of looking at it from a managerial standpoint. So I do think it's going to help him. How much it will help him is going to be determined in those little perceivable moments in these games where it's a 2-minute warning and he's got to use his timeouts correctly, or he's got to throw a challenge on an obvious call, or kind of gambling in some parts. We have yet to see what that's going to look like this year. But from a practice standpoint, from a philosophical standpoint, and that's really all that we can talk about right now, I do think Aaron Glenn has improved in that basis. The other stuff we won't know until these games actually start.
Nick Faria covers the Jets now for SI, is our guest as we recap what was a special teams heavy day for the Jets. The offense and the defense just went through a walkthrough. Mike Westhoff, the special teams GOAT himself, was at the OTA earlier. 1, did you see Westy? And 2, it is fitting that he was there on a day that the Jets really emphasized the Chris Banjo special teams unit, because Mike Westhoff gave the recommendation to Aaron Glenn to hire Chris Banjo.
It's the Westhoff coaching tree, if you will, for special teams. And of course, that's a guy that you want to try to replicate those coaching trees. There are some offensive minds. Listen, you want guys that have worked under Bill Walsh and Andy Reid. And then on defense, you want guys that understand the premise of Vic Fangio or Bill Belichick and all these guys. Westhoff is the de facto top special teams coach out there. And again, Chris Banjo probably is number 1 lieutenant, really coaching that way as well, having a lot of success. And of course, it's great to have the master come in for the disciple in that way and sort of help out, assist where he can. And again, like we said, we didn't see any kicking, but if there's one thing I think Jets fans should be able to trust going into 2026 is that it's their special teams unit that will be very, very strong for another year.
That's why, from like a kicking standpoint, obviously, I'm a little worried they let Nick Folk go, but I'll give the Jets the benefit of the doubt because they were great on special teams last year. Nick Folk was signed after training camp started. They moved on from their esteemed punter Thomas Morstead. They bring in Austin McNamara as a rookie. We're like, who, what? And he was great.
Better.
So they now are hopefully able to find the kicking version of what McNamara represented at punter at some point here. Maybe it's Cade York, maybe it's Saunders, who they added. I know Glenn was asked about him. What's your feel for the kicking situation right now?
I have a lot of reservations just from an NFL and analyst standpoint. I have a lot of reservations about Cade York. Maybe he turns it around. Maybe he's able to play at a high level. But Sanders, however you pronounce his last name, I think that is a clear-cut pick for me. It was a really good pickup. I know the Giants dropped him, but the Giants have had their kicking woes as well. If there's one thing that I wouldn't trust the Giants on over everything else, it's kicking woes. For the Jets, I would absolutely trust him. So they clearly liked what they've seen on tape. They want to make sure that his hip injury is 100%. He's 100% ready to go for this year. But certainly I think that if he ends up winning the kicking job, that could be your kicker, not just for this year, but in the years to come. It's not like he's over 40 years old. This is still a guy in his prime who can play well. And if he's able to do so this year, is going to be in for a lucrative extension after.
Aaron Glenn said earlier that newly signed kicker Jason Sanders, quote, obviously did a really good job in Miami. Anytime we can get a good player that can create competition, we want to bring that player in to create that. I mean, he was excellent in Miami. And if you look at his numbers against the Jets in particular, this is a guy that kicked great against the Jets.
Listen, kicked really good at MetLife, kicked really good against the Jets, and a Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber performer. So the Jets going to need that on offense. I think they're going to be able to move the ball effectively this year, obviously a lot more effectively than last season. So trying to put that all together and make sure that you have the quality special teams needed in order to win some games, make some big kicks, very, very important. So I think this signing was very smart. And something that should be celebrated, at least right now. And again, if it doesn't work out, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world, because there are times where I think fans get a little too emotional on certain needs, particularly at kicker. A few years ago, just to give a comparison, Jake Elliott was a 5th-round pick for the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Bengals cut him in training camp over the last few days of training camp. And he was kind of on the practice squad, bouncing around through practice squads in 2017 before the Eagles had an injury in week 2 and signed him to the active roster. Now, Elliott is considered one of the best kickers in Eagles history. I know he's had some struggles in the last few years, but it's a good example to show that just because you have a kicking competition now, or there may be questions in week 1, doesn't mean it's going to be a lingering problem continuously, because these guys are cut all the time. It's just a matter about finding the right one when you need it most.
Nick Faria is my guest. If you're watching live, hit the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and read Nick's work in Sports Illustrated. So I know the assistant coaches, or at least some of them, were made available to you guys earlier. What was the reaction in the room when Carl Dunbar was asked about Tavondre Sweat, and he said, quote, big men are like pretty women. There's not a lot of them, and everybody wants them. I like men who can move around.
I think it was just a collective laughter. This guy, Carl Dunbar, really intelligent coach. You can see it. Him and I had a little back and forth at the end as well when I asked him about David Bailey, which was great. But this guy's a jokester. He's a lot of fun to be around. It's really good having him back in the building for the Jets, because you have arguably one of the best defensive line coaches in football, helping a very young group come together and play at a high level.
Dunbar's importance in helping to develop David Bailey. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I asked him today about it. I said, listen, David Bailey's had a lot of pre-draft concerns about the run defense, and he cut me off. He said, don't care. Can he rush the passer? And he was like, yeah, that's all I care about. That's all we care about. Get after the quarterback. Can you get after the quarterback? That's the number one focus for any number 2 overall pick. But he did answer later on, and he did explain it's our job as coaches to teach him and teach young players how to defend the run. A lot of colleges, he kind of pointed this to, a lot of colleges don't train players how to defend the run. If you're an edge rusher who can rush the passer well, they only focus on doing that. And it's kind of in a similar way to the NFL, but it's up to Dunbar and this coaching staff to turn Bailey, to turn Will McDonald into good run defenders. And as I just said before, if there's one coach that you need or should have faith in, that he can develop a player like David Bailey to be a good run defender, it's Carl Dunbar. So clearly a guy, a lot of jokes, highly intelligent, probably one of the biggest biggest additions to this coaching staff for Aaron Glenn this offseason?
So I've been critical of Aaron Glenn, and rightfully so, but one thing I'll never criticize him for, the Dunbar hire, I thought made a ton of sense, was a great hire. And then you hear him say today, Aaron Glenn saying to you guys that he would always link up with Dunbar at the combine every year just to talk defense, talk defensive line. And he said, if I ever get a chance to hire him, I'm going to do it. So that relationship that he had with Dunbar helped the Jets get a proven coach at a very important positional coaching spot, given the investment the Jets obviously made with that number 2 pick. And their relationship dates back to when Aaron Glenn was a scout with the Jets and Dunbar was in his first stint as the D-line coach for the Jets.
Yeah, and also I believe Glenn was also a scout with Minnesota for a little bit. He kind of told us the story where Glenn's brother, who was a linebacker at the time, was talking to Dunbar saying, listen, you got to link up with Aaron. You got to link up. He loves you. They want to be able to have those conversations. So he's known the Glenn family for a very long time. He's had a lot of respect for Aaron Glenn from a scout to an assistant all the way through. And really, the Mike Tomlin retirement, quasi-retirement, whatever you want to call it, was huge here because you know for a fact Pittsburgh was not going to relinquish the rights to Carl Dunbar if Tomlin was still there. The fact that it's now Mike McCarthy, he wants to bring in his own guys. He allowed some of the former staff to find their own way, and it opened the door for Aaron Glenn to come in and bring in a great coach like this. Kind of a stroke of genius in this way for Glenn to bring him in.
All right, Seth Ryan also spoke today. Seth Ryan, of course, the son of former Jets head coach Rex Ryan. What was the first encounter with Seth like for you, Nick?
So I again, when Rex Ryan was coaching the Jets, I was in middle school, elementary school to middle school. So again, young buck here, never really saw how he was to the media, but saw in clips. Jokester would give it back as well as he got it. He's a chip off the old block, Seth Ryan, man. He's quick. He's got a quick tongue, able to make some jokes. He had one today that I absolutely love. He's talking about the legacy. Buddy Ryan, his grandfather, one of the greatest defensive minds in NFL history, or architect of the 85 Bears. Then you have Rex, the modern NFL, the one guy that really caused Tom Brady to just have mental conniptions every time they play. And Seth was talking about that legacy, and he mentioned a story where Buddy Ryan would tell Rex, I want you to be a little bit better than me. And then Rex would tell Seth, I want you to be a little bit better than me. Now, as a son, and I'm sure we all can speak to this, our fathers have always said something similar in that way. So that was something that I think we all can connect to. We want to be better than our parents, better than our fathers. And Seth jokingly was essentially like, so I took his advice and I decided to coach offense instead. I mean, it's a great quote from a really young and energetic mind. I think there's a lot to like about Seth Ryan. And I think the only reason why we are confident, or Jets fans should be confident, that their offense is going to be better with Frank Reich calling plays is the fact that Frank Reich is using his old school West Coast style, and he's marrying it with concepts from the Detroit Lions with Ben Johnson. And I think that specifically is very, very important for the Jets this year. Seth Ryan has been around. He's a third-generation Jets coach. Mentioned the fact that Buddy was on the Jets when they first won the Super Bowl. Then it was Rex getting to the conference championship. He wants to continue that legacy going forward. So I think it was a very, very positive conversation we had with him. And you are seeing exactly why he was a top assistant under Ben Johnson. Very intelligent, very quick-witted like his father and grandfather were. I think this is a home run hire for the Jets as well.
Seth Ryan choking back tears, according to Zach Rosenblatt. You just love that, tug on the heartstrings of all the Jet fans out there with Seth being involved. And you're hoping that because he is only 32 years old, he could kind of bring some young, innovative ideas to help Frank Reich put together the offense. And Reich is that steadying voice who's had success in the league. And him and Geno Smith could put together a good season offensively for the Jets. I mean, it's kind of wild. The last time the Jets had a winning record, Geno Smith was on the roster. Didn't start because of what happened that summer, as we all recall. And the last time the Jets were in the playoffs, they had a Ryan as their head coach. Now they got a Ryan on the staff. Mason Taylor, his dad, was on the last Jet playoff team, of course. So maybe this is what it will take for the Jets, Nick, to end the longest playoff drought in sports.
And I think the one thing, looking ahead, right? So Frank Reich is calling the offense. They wanted to bring in a stabilizing force to kind of help solve some of the offensive concerns. But if you look ahead, if they are able to be competent and play well from an offensive perspective and win some games, Aaron Glenn's going to stay as head coach. I think that the sweet spot right now that we all agree with is around 7 to 8 wins, but they're playing a lot better. The quality of play improves, and that will keep Aaron Glenn as head coach. But if they're able to turn this around, whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whatever it is, there's a succession plan here where Frank Reich is 64 years old. He's not going to be doing this for 5-6 years with Aaron Glenn. I can't see that happening. But when you have Seth Ryan here, still 32 years old, still a young guy, you have a succession plan of Frank Reich helping stabilize the offense and then Seth being able to take it to the next level. Again, it's a lot of if, but you see a succession plan, a true plan in place to really help Aaron Glenn along if they can just find a way to win this season. I think there's reason to be optimistic about the Jets this year, but also specifically their offense. That really wasn't the case last year. At this point last year, I think we were saying, listen, there's a lot of questions about Justin Fields. He hasn't really looked good. The offense hasn't really looked good. This year, it's a different story. We have seen competition. The offense has won a lot of rounds. I think this could be an exciting year for this group.
All right, so in addition to some assistant coaches, you guys also spoke with Brandon Stevens, Armand Membu, Jamie and Sherwood, and Braylon Allen. I'll start with Braylon Allen because he said the quote that we hear seemingly from every athlete every year, I'm in the best shape of my life. But with Braylon Allen, you notice because he is a physical freak, and he obviously got hurt last year and didn't return after that game on Monday night against Miami early in the season. What were your takeaways from speaking with Braylon Allen?
The fact that he listed his weight at around 250 is absolutely insane to me because you have 4 or 5 edge rushers on the Jets that are listed at around 255 pounds, and that includes the number 2 overall pick in David Bailey. The fact that Braylon Allen is the same weight as David Bailey blows my freaking mind.
He was 238 last year, he said.
Insane.
So he added 12 pounds of muscle.
Insane. But, I mean, this is a player. Aaron Glenn said it today. He still wants to have a running back by committee. Breece Hall will obviously be the focus, but they weren't able to have that by committee approach last year because Braylon Allen got hurt in that game against Miami. The fact that he's able to come back this year, feels confident, will be very important for this offense because you do not have to rely on 25, 30 touches from Breece Hall this year. You can allow him to be the kind of player that they were willing to give so much money to in the offseason while having complementary pieces as well. It's very, very important in the modern NFL to have at least 2 running backs. The Jets think they have 3. But if Braylon Allen can step up in a number 2 running back role, that changes how this offense is going to look and how people are going to defend this Jets group.
Jamie and Sherwood, obviously a down season following the big contract the Jets gave him. Your thoughts hearing from him?
Yeah, he acknowledged it. And he said it wasn't my best year. I needed to improve in pass coverage. I needed to improve as a leader. And I think last year was a good test because not only did he receive a large contract extension, 3 years, $45 million, but he was also named captain for the first time at 25, 26 years old. And there was no C.J. Mosley to help guide him along the way. And he kind of talked about that. Last year, he didn't have that guiding presence at linebacker to help him go through the process. He has that this year in Demario Davis. So he's a much more confident player. He thinks he can improve a lot in pass coverage. We have to remember, in fairness to Sherwood, before last season, he was one of the better cover linebackers in the NFL in the short time that we had him. Has over 150 tackles, really good player, really athletic as a former safety. So it's a wait-and-see game for him. The fact that he doesn't have the same pressures as he had last year, I think will allow him to improve. But the Jets going to give him the opportunity to play at a high level this year. They're not going to bench him. Doesn't look like there's any trade market for him. They're going to pay him. They're going to play him. And it's up to him to prove that he is still worthy of that contract.
Armand Membu, obviously, if you're talking about a guy that had a great year on a 3-win team, it was the rookie who I think has a chance to be a regular Pro Bowl level tackle, if not all pro. That's how good he could potentially be. Your thoughts speaking with him today?
I think Pro Bowl is selling it short. I think you're looking at the next great right tackle in the NFL based on his footwork. Even just today, the footwork that he uses, the hand placement, it's next level. It's already next level from where he was his rookie year, and he had a great rookie season. I would argue by the end of this season, he is going to be the Jets' best offensive player and arguably their best player. And before people come at me and say, well, that's not a good thing if your right tackle is your best player overall, you look at some of the best teams in the National Football League over the last few years, and their best player has been the right tackle. Obviously, I'm pointing, of course, the Detroit Lions with Penny Sewell, the Philadelphia Eagles with Lane Johnson. I think you can look and see Armand Membu be in that conversation this year. The footwork is elite. The hand placement is elite. He's got the right size, the right athleticism. Everything is pointing up for him. He has had a very good OTA session. I'm excited to see what he looks like in pads when he goes up against David Bailey, because it's impossible to check it out right now. He's stonewall Bailey at this point, but there's no physicality to this. Bailey can't really use his speed in a positive way. I'm really excited to see what that looks like coming up in a month and a half.
And then the last player you spoke with was Brandon Stephens. I feel like Brandon Stephens got off to a bad start. He stabilized as the year went on, but the Jets were so bad, people probably didn't even really pay much attention to it unless you're like sickos like anyone watching this in June right now, and you who covers the team, and me, of course. Your thoughts on Brandon Stephens now in his second year and his potential fit in the Aaron Glenn scheme?
It's crazy to think about, but he is the elder statesman in this secondary now. Think about it. He's only been here a year, but the other corner is Nahshon Wright, who is a free agent pickup. Jarvis Brownlee was brought in early on last season. You have D'Angelo Pons. Minkah Fitzpatrick was traded for this offseason. And you have Malachi Moore and Dane Belton, who are younger players. Belton signed this offseason as well. So the longest tenured quarterback on this team that's going to be a starter. I know A.Z. Thomas, you kind of sat there and say that as well. But the longest tenured veteran corner in this secondary is Brandon Stephens. It's incredible to think about, but it's a testament really to, I think, how well he played last season, which was an underrated part. Last year, the Jets secondary was awful, but I think that had more to do with post-trading Sauce Gardner, post not getting an interception, and the safety play just being the worst in the National Football League. So I think Stephens has a chance to be a really good player, the leader in the secondary, and he's kind of owning that. He's kind of accepting that expectation. It'll be exciting to see what that looks like in camp, because you have Fitzpatrick, you have Wright, you have Stephens' veteran presence in this secondary to try to improve a group that was just the absolute worst in 2025.
Nick, anything else that we missed from today's OTA? And I look forward to reading the full breakdown in your articles, of course. But anything else we missed today from a special teams heavy OTA practice?
Yeah, I got to be honest, guys. You're not getting a takeaways day from me today, because there was just nothing to take away from. It was all special teams. But the one thing I will say, Aaron Glenn can talk about his superpower being calling plays. That's not his superpower. It never has been. And I think I said this last week as well. His superpower is relationship building, bringing in guys that can mold together to create a team. Now, it may not come out to wins, as we saw last season, but the coaching staff. Carl Dunbar is arguably the best defensive line coach in the NFL. He wanted to be a member of the Jets this season with Aaron Glenn. Seth Ryan is a young, up-and-coming offensive mind. He could have gone anywhere else. He could have joined the Bears and have an assistant role. He could have stayed in Detroit. He could have done all these different things, and he chose to come to the Jets because of his relationship with Aaron Glenn and the legacy that was there before him. That cannot be overlooked. And relationships are extremely important for coaching staffs, because if you have a head coach that can build chemistry within the locker room and build chemistry within their coaching staff, it's very important for a rebuilding group to take that next step. They still have to take that next step on the field. We need to see that going forward. But I think there's been parts and points of this OTA session where you can be impressed with the job that Aaron Glenn has done. We obviously need to see more, and he needs to be better in the in-game management. As I said previously, we're not going to see that until the games actually matter. But I think this has been a very good OTA session to sort of rebuild some of the distrust that was kind of seeped through the fan base with Glenn last season, where they had all these expectations, and Glenn wanted to build a team that the fan base was going to be proud of. And he kind of walked back those comments 8 weeks in, and everyone was at him. Everyone wanted him fired. This has been kind of a rebuilding session of him saying, listen, I've learned my mistakes. I know where I screwed up. here's a better coaching staff. Here's a better roster. I'm going to be better, but I have to prove it. But right now, this is all that we can see. We can see the coaching staff improve. We can see the players have improved. If they're able to put it all together, I think Glenn has done a good job kind of rehabilitating his image a little bit in this OTA session.
Nick, you've done a great job joining us live from a random Panera near the Jets facility. Have a safe drive back to Queens. Hopefully not too much traffic. Really appreciate your time. And where can people find your SI stories on the Jets?
Yeah, Nick_Faria 1720. That's the Twitter handle as always. Appreciate all the support. We're going to have a couple stories here. We've got coming up talking about the big men, beautiful women from Carl Dunbar and Devondre Sweat. We're going to have a deep dive into Seth Ryan and a couple other great stories as well. So we've got a lot coming today over the next day and a half.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Nick Faria.
How far will he go to push his Jets takes? How far will he go to get the Jets to trade for bad Eagles players? How far will he go to confuse Asmaniacs as to where he works because he keeps changing jobs like twice a week? It's the great Nick Faria.
Oh, yeah. What a spot with Nick Faria. Appreciate him hopping on. As always, we taped it before the normal show because of some scheduling conflicts. I'm going to the Garden tonight. Nick's about to sit in traffic, and I wanted the best possible audio for everyone consuming the show live. Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Our giveaway today is absolutely epic. It is an NBA Finals limited edition Ticket of Champions, plus a playoff towel as well. I'm holding it in my hand right here. It's what they gave out to all the fans the other night at Game 3, and I always want to pay it forward to the best fans, the best community in sports, the Asmaniacs. So if you want to enter, get the membership, Venmo me, Jake-Asman, or send in a super chat that qualifies. Let me give some love to Derek, the Kansas Jet fan. He was the first to enter. He won a signed Vinny T jersey on the show yesterday, which I sent out this afternoon. Derek, it's on its way.
Just don't let go of the rope.
All right, our first 5 spot, Colin Wolford gifting 5 to the greatest community ever. Hit it. Jay Perez, Jet GTX, Michael Holloran, Daniel Sass, all receiving a gifted membership. Shout out to Colin Wolford for entering the raffle. What did you guys think of some of those takeaways there from Nick? I will say this. I do think it's a really cool story that Seth Ryan is on this coaching staff. Rich Cimini just wrote a great story, getting some quotes from Rex about his son coaching the team. You hope that Seth Ryan can provide a fresh perspective for a guy like Frank Reich, who's been around the league a while. Like Seth Ryan comes over from the Lions. They're as innovative of a team as we've seen. Now, a lot of that was Ben Johnson, but Seth Ryan was there with Ben Johnson. So maybe he could take some of the things he learned from Ben, and it could help Geno Smith, Frank Reich in this offense. I feel way better, for what it's worth, about the Jet coaching staff now than I did a year ago. I regret not being more critical of the Wilkes hire last year because he had been bad in his previous stops. And I was like, well, Glenn's a defensive coach. He just wanted someone with experience. But I don't think any of us thought he was going to defer the entire defense to Wilkes and be like, we're running the Wilkes system. So now it's put up or shut up for Aaron Glenn, and we'll see how he handles it. He's going to need to get a bounce-back season from a guy who spoke today like Jamie and Sherwood. They're going to need to still get another big year from Minka and DeMario, even as they age, especially DeMario, who's 37. I like what I've heard from players talking about Devondre Sweat so far. I mean, Armand Membu had a great quote about him today. Obviously, Dunbar gave you the quote of the day, comparing Devondre Sweat to an attractive lady. If I was at the presser today with Dunbar, I would have said this to him.
Calm your freaky down.
But it's a great quote. Here's the thing, though. They didn't put these assistant pressers on video, so we don't have the video of this, which is unfortunate. But it does feel like they're in a better spot from a schematic coaching standpoint now than they were a year ago. Does that mean the Jets are going to win a lot of games? I mean, it still, at the end of the day, comes down to who's your head coach, who's your quarterback. We have reasonable questions about the quarterback, although I like Geno and rooting for him. He's coming off a bad year. Wasn't all him, but it's a bad year. And then there's obviously the storyline that surrounds Aaron Glenn and what he could do to hopefully be not just a little better, a lot better if he wants to save his job in 2026. But there's a pathway to it. There is. They have a professional roster now. They have an above-average offensive line. They have solid skill players. They should have 2 pass rushers that can make an impact. They should have at least a defense that's mediocre. The special teams we expect to be good. Now, I'm worried about kicker, but they got time to figure that out. Jason Sanders, you're up. You're the latest to try and lock in the job. But they have a pathway to putting a representative product on the field. You know, to winning 8 or 9 games and being in the mix. There's a pathway to it. Do I think it's going to happen? I think I'd be crazy and I'd be lying to all of you if I said yes. And I won't lie to the audience. I'll be honest. Is it better for me to hype you guys up and say the Jets are going to be good? Yes. It's way better for the channel. But we got to keep it real. And that's why you guys tune in. I got my questions. But I do think, at least from a standpoint of putting the team together, they've done a good job with that. Hawk wants me to lie to him. Hawk, you are a handsome son of a gun.
And here we go. Let's go. Let's go.
That actually was the truth. Hawk is very handsome. Yo Home says, I miss Charles London. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do not, sir. That is a poo-poo take. Smelly take. Shout out to Charles London, though, man. Guy somehow got a job coaching quarterbacks, even though he's never played the position and was predominantly a running back coach most of his life. God bless. Again, we laugh, but like that's who Aaron Glenn hired to be his quarterback coach, hired a first-time offensive coordinator, and then had the quote to the media, well, we're going to let Geno Smith play, or we're going to let Justin Fields play quarterback. He's never been given that chance before. We're going to unlock him. Those were the quotes we were getting a year ago. We all should have known where this was headed. We just tried to be optimistic because it was year 1 of a new coach and GM. They're in a much better spot now. Is it enough to save the head coach's job? We're going to see. M123 wants to know how much are Knicks tickets? A lot. All right. All super chats and gifted memberships go to the Jake Asman. Has to somehow find a way to pay for college someday for his kids fund. Because our little Jalen Brunson Asman is not going to college as of now. So the Knicks better win a championship. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Speaking of money, let's win some money together tonight. Here's my official prize pick lineup for Knicks Spurs game 4. Harper, more than 3.5 rebounds. Wemby, that dirtbag, more than 21.5 points. Cat, more than 11.5 points. Mitchell Robinson, more than 1.5 points. You need all 4 of these to hit to turn $20 into $42. Code HMA. Use my link. Download the app. Put that code in. Put $5 into the app, and you're going to have $50 to mess around with and make your own picks for tonight's game or any game. You got UFC over the weekend. The big White House card is coming. World Cup about to get underway. For the soccer fans out there, PrizePicks has everything. Let's get to some of your calls now, ladies and gentlemen. First up today on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is a man that they call Carl with the Jet Tattoo. Hello, Carl.
Hey, Jake, how you doing? Hey, listen, I always enjoy listening to Nick Faria. I call Nick Faria the voice of reason, because I think I like his takes. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, but I have said this before on other shows, and watch all the shit I take in the comment section. People say that, oh, Nick Faria pays the guy to say nice shit about me, but I like Nick Faria. I like his take on most things on the Jets. And I just think, like I said, he's not too high, not too low. He just tells it like it is in a clear, easy to understand way. So
Did he pay you to say this?
he did not pay me to say this. He does pay me, but we get the money through different avenues. No, seriously, I just, I like listening to Nick Faria. And keep an eye on the comments later, because people start really giving me a lot of shit for saying that about Nick Faria. But, and I think Yo Holmes is on too. So Yo Holmes will probably give me some shit too.
Well,
But
you like him because he's always overly optimistic. That's why.
I don't think he's overly optimistic. I think he
thought they were going to win 9 games last year.
All right. Well, so did I.
Well, that's exactly my point.
I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win 9 or 10 games this year. So that's how optimistic I am.
Also, it's Faria, right? It's not like James Farrier, how you're saying it. It's Nick
Faria. Faria. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, like I said, I enjoy listening to Nick no matter what show he's on.
He's a friend of mine. I like him as well, but you like him because he's very optimistic like you.
Probably that has something to do with it, but I also like his takes on things. He explains things in a very easy way to understand. His opinions are clear. His opinions are, they're not over the top, but I think he tells it like it is. I think he tells it like he sees it.
What if he's blind? Would that change your opinion on him?
If he what?
If he's blind.
If he's blind?
Right. You said he tells it like he sees it, but what if he became blind? Would that affect your opinion on him?
Well, then he'd have to tell me in Braille.
But how would he know what's happening if he can't see it?
I don't know, Jake. I don't know. I would have to just hope that he could listen well at these OTA practices.
So he can listen to the gobbledygook that Aaron Glenn says at the podium.
Yeah, he can listen. He can listen to the gobbledygook. Yeah, and I did agree. I agree with him on the take about the coaching. I'm glad that Seth Ryan is one of the coaches. Maybe continue a legacy. It just feels good to have another Ryan on the staff. But
who's your favorite Ryan of all time?
Who's the greatest Ryan of all time? I would probably, I don't know. I like Buddy Ryan, but I think Rex Ryan.
What about Meg Ryan?
Meg Ryan, she's pretty good. How about the other Ryan? Who's the other brother? Who's the other Ryan brother? Rob Ryan. Yeah, whatever happened to him?
He is no longer, I believe, coaching anywhere right now. He did some media stuff briefly. I haven't heard his name in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen him or heard of him or anything. But look, like I said, I'm optimistic. This time of year.
How about Nolan Ryan? You a fan of him?
Nolan. Oh yeah. I think Ryan? I've got some Nolan Ryan memorabilia.
What about Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan? Yeah. How about Pat Ryan?
Pat Ryan, sure. Why not?
Okay, Pat Ryan. So we could probably stay here all day naming the Ryans.
How about Debbie
Rob
Ryan?
Huh?
Debbie Ryan.
Debbie Ryan. I don't know Debbie Ryan.
Disney Channel's Jessie and the Sweet Life on Deck. Actress.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, Jake.
What do you think? I'm Beast now, Carl?
No. Hey, you know what I was asking? Paul yesterday.
No, I don't.
If you continue to have this, if you continue to have Beast on all the time and have all this back and forth with Beast, does it become bestiality?
Well played.
Does it?
Beast is dealing with some issues. He lost power in the storms in the Chicago area.
Oh my God. Oh my God. He did have that. I did take his medical advice and got some of that icy hot.
Did you?
Yeah, I ran right up to the dollar store and got it. I know that's where he got it. And
how'd that go?
It went really well. And I think the best medical advice I got was from Gary. I drank a lot of water and ate a lot of meat, and I feel so much better now.
Good for you, Carl. I got to say, you look incredibly healthy right now.
Thank you. But I have that. I have Gary to thank for that because of the. I've been eating a lot of butter, eating a lot of meat, against my doctor's orders. Other things were recommended to me, but I said no. I listened to Gary. Hey, Beast.
We just lost power.
Oh my God! Do you have a flashlight?
My phone, yeah, but unfortunately we gotta wait. I'm trying to get through ComEd, and it's like trying to get on through the internet. It's like going through a real pain in the ass.
Big storm?
What happened?
Did you have a big storm come through?
It just came through like a fucking lightning, like a lightning fusion. It just came in within 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden, it's like,
Yeah,
great.
Do you have any candles in the house?
I'm already prepared.
All right. Okay.
Just great. Just great.
Well, how are you going to cook? How are you going to cook dinner tonight?
Don't worry. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got something in mind.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac.
Hey, Gary, how you doing?
Hey, couple things. I'm glad you're feeling well. Your doctor's not going to like it because your doctor profits off you being sick. But if you eat meat and water, you'll be you'll be good.
Well,
I'm feeling good.
Taking
your energy, right?
I'm desperate. I'm desperate, Gary. So I'm taking your advice.
It'll work. Like it's
okay.
Human biology. Your body would prefer to run off ketones than glycogen. Like your energy levels will be good. Your aches and pain, all of that is caused by inflammation. Your inflammation will be gone. Your blood sugar will be stable. You have no spikes, in your energy.
Okay.
You'll feel good, flat, level all day. You'll be good. Like you'll be good for. You'll be good. How long have you been doing it?
How long? 15 minutes.
Yeah, how long have you been?
15 minutes.
No. How long have you been? How long have you been eating, doing the carnivore?
Gary, I'm only joking. Jack, can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, listen.
Can you hear me?
Okay, listen. Yes, I can hear you. Okay, listen, Gary. I was just joking. I was joking around.
Good job.
I respect your opinion, but I do not eat red meat
at all.
No.
What do you eat?
No red meat.
What is your diet?
I chicken, fish, turkey.
Okay.
I don't eat red meat.
All right. I mean, as long as you're eating meat, you should be. I eat a lot of fish. I usually just eat a pound of steak and a pound of seafood now. That's what I eat for the day. Fish is good.
Yeah. Well, I figured I made it this long, Gary. I must be doing something right.
You're not that old. Don't act like you're 112. I made it this long. What are you, like 60? How old are you? You're not that old.
I'm 70. I'm going to be 72. 70. I'm going to be 72 in July. Yeah.
Okay, you look good for 72. I thought I had you pegged a decade younger, early 60s. All right. No, you look
well,
good.
I think the most important thing also, besides eating, is getting the proper exercise.
It's the two things. If you do those two things, if you exercise half hour a day and you eat healthy, you'll be fine. You'll live a long time.
Calm your freaky down.
I'm hoping
Jake,
someday
I think
to
the package is in, by the way. By the way,
I'm hoping
Jake.
someday. I'm hoping someday to go to the moon.
Me too. Me too. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully one day in our lifetime.
Maybe we can.
Man, we'll
Maybe
make
we
it
can
to
go
the moon.
together.
I hope so.
Ow! Hey, hit my teeth. Oh well.
Field trip to the moon. Carl and Gary. Beautiful. What a segment that was, huh? Colin enjoyed the shirt, the High Life shirt that Carl was rocking. All right. Get your raffle entries in. We're at the 50-minute mark. This will not be a full 2-hour show because we're off to Madison Square Garden to watch the New York Knicks command a 3-1 lead in the NBA Finals. Let's get right back to your calls where this guy is on hold, ready to fire us up. Hit it.
Purple belt Mike, he loves the Dark Knight. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that purple belt Mike. Purple belt Mike, he might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Oh, fuck.
Let's go, baby. What we have to have is Mitchell Robinson or OG get a clean, hard foul on Wemby. Set the tone. Let him know we're not going to play this punk-ass bullshit. Can't be Alvarado or one of our little guys. It's got to be a big dude. Make it Mitch. Mitch's been playing 10 minutes a game. Have
Bring
him.
Dottier off the bench and do it. Don't let Starter do it.
Yeah, whatever. And just fucking pound that ass. Get out of here. Tell him we ain't putting up with this shit. This is New York. We ain't fucking around. And we're going to take him out.
Any
Clean.
truth to the rumor that you no longer call them French fries? You call them freedom fries?
Fuck France and fuck Wemby and fuck a French fry. All three of them. 3 fucks. I don't like anything with the word F. Forget about France. I'm done with it.
Ladies
How
and
can
gentlemen,
this guy be the face of the NBA when he's an international guy anyway? Why should he get the face of the NBA? He ain't even American. Fuck out of here.
ladies and gentlemen,
Dirty ass player.
Purple Belt Mike.
Hey, go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Football guy says, Jake, your shows always make my workday the best. Well, I appreciate that, football guy. If you tuned in late, Nick Faria was with us for the first 30 minutes of the show, recapping today's OTA that the media was on site for. It was a walkthrough for the defense and the offense and a gigantic special teams period. I think the more notable stuff are some of the quotes from the players. Again, quick reminder about the raffle. If you want to win the Knicks special edition NBA Finals ticket and the playoff towel or a Jets jersey of your choosing, could be a Legends jersey like Namath or Curtis Martin or a current player like Garrett, Brees, Gino, DeMario, any first-round pick. Make sure you enter. Last call for entries. Let's get to more of your calls on the Gusbuster hotline. Speaking of the Knicks, this man's father won a signed Walt Clyde Frazier jersey.
He's pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. Garrett Box, he point at you. Garrett Box, I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. I'm pointing. Garrett Box, point at you. I point.
I think this is it, Jake. I'm pretty sure this is the package. Want to open it on air?
Open it on air. Give the people, as they say, a live unboxing.
I get my wife gets 12 packages a day from Target and stuff at Amazon, so I had to make sure this has my name on it, and indeed it did.
Hold on, let me add some dramatic music so people aren't bored to tears watching you do this.
Oh no, this is not the jersey. This is something else. Never mind. That was
it's a jet hat. It's not even. What is that?
Yeah, so it's this jet hat. I ordered it like 2 weeks ago. I forgot that I ordered it. I should have.
I wore that shirt on the show, or that hat on the show yesterday.
Yeah, I had
Wow.
that, and then I left it in my Uber when I was in New York. Yeah, it says Fanatics. That's my bad, guys. That was anti. It should arrive today. It's still like it said by 9 o'clock.
Send this man into the hole.
I guess that was. Yeah, I agree. That was my bad. My bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary 3D boxing. That's too funny. The Rooster in the raffle for 1. Thank you, Rooster. Speaking of the Rooster, do you hear that? I do.
I would like to read something today that I think the Nick fan needs to hear. I don't know if everyone saw Vaccaro's article 2 days ago. So, Jake, I'd like to read something.
I do like Mike Vaccaro, so go ahead.
Welcome back, Knicks fans. This is what the playoffs are supposed to feel like. This is what they look like. You've been allowed to forget that all across the 45 days that all across the 45 days that connected their second and third loss in these playoffs, you'd been allowed to feel it was almost low stress. Easy, even. The playoffs are not low stress, and they are never easy. There are supposed to be nights like this sprinkled into the mix. No matter how unwelcome they are, no matter how unsettling this 115-111 loss to the Spurs may have been. The Knicks had already broken their serve twice, extending their playoff winning streak to 13. It was surreal. It was astonishing. It was addicting. Now that part of the playoffs is over, and the next part is what awaits. Wednesday night is at what promises to be a very rowdy Garden. Ladies and gentlemen, we were spoiled, and that's okay. The Spurs beat us. That's okay. Teams lose in the playoffs. Now the response comes tonight. We clean up the turnovers. We execute more, trying to get Cat going. Maybe we forgot a little because everything was working that we could just win it at the end. Tonight is a big boy game. Tonight we pull our big boy pants up and we take care of business. And I'm not getting involved in all the hit Wemby, this Wemby, that Wemby. The Spurs want to muck it up. They want Josh Hart to be screaming at the ref. They want Mike Brown to scream at the ref. It's all BS. Play our game, which is physical, but play our game of basketball tonight, and we will take care of business. And I'm going to tell you one other thing, fans. This is not a must-win for the Knicks. I will never say that ever. 1996, the Yankees lost the first 2 games at home in the World Series to the Braves, and they went there and they won 3 straight. This is a big game, but it's bigger for the Spurs. But I'm telling you, we will take care of business tonight. We will be the mature team, the Garden, the $50,000 tickets. That they now know what that is. That was tougher for the Knicks than the Spurs. The Spurs played free. Now the Spurs, they know now what's in front of them. We take care of business. And I will give my bet right now with it. It's the one I've been writing. OG 15, Jalen Brunson 25. It plays 120. It's a little 2-team parlay. The last one did hit even though on the loss. OG 15, Josh Hart 7 rebounds. Guys, embrace the feeling tonight of being a little nauseous. It's a good feeling. It's the feeling we want. That's the feeling I've waited, well, I'm not going to say 45 years for this feeling, for this game. And that's it. Jake, bring it home tonight. The Rooster is out.
That's a hell of a call by the Rooster. Hell of a call. It's not supposed to be easy. I've been saying this. He's right. It's hard. Spurs are the best team the Knicks have played by far. But this is what the Knicks have been able to overcome. They respond. They respond to adversity. These are the games Brunson shows up in. I'm expecting a big performance from him tonight. The longer the series goes, he figures out how teams try and play him defensively, and he adapts. I think a major key is getting Cat more involved right away. Let's get off to a better start. Let's not have to exert a ton of energy to be trailing at the end of the first quarter like they have the first 3 games. I expect the shooting by Bridges and a guy who has been amazing for them in the playoffs, Landry Shamet, to be a lot better. They had off nights in game 3. I'm expecting more of an even whistle. I think the Knicks, they got a feel for what it was like now to play a finals game in that building. All the pressure's still on the Spurs, but the Knicks got to play desperate, like how the Spurs played. I think you're going to have to shoot the ball a lot better. That goes without question, but they got to take better care of the ball. They were careless with too many turnovers. They cut down on that. They should win the game. That's what I'm looking at. Getting Cat more involved, just shooting better in general, and playing physical, man. Wembanyama's not getting away with that nonsense. Can't allow it. The NBA is spineless for not applying a flagrant on that play with Brunson. But I don't think it's going to affect the Knicks. I think they're so locked in, they understand what needs to be done. Go out there and prove you're the better team. I think the crowd will be a lot better tonight than it was in game 3, because game 3 felt like a celebration, like a party. Now it's like, no, we're back to the nitty-gritty playoff ball. Let's go. Go up 3-1. We know what that means. Only one team has ever come back down 3-1 in the finals. That team had the second greatest player of all time on it. Like, let's go. Get it done. Get it done. Rooster says, let's effing go. Amen, Rooster. Amen. Yo Home says that they found Bridges. He went missing. Look, Bridges has been great in these playoffs, but when they've lost, he hasn't played well. So it's no secret. The Knicks need Mikal Bridges to play well on both ends. He's been good defensively, though. Again, Mikal Bridges had 2 points in game 3. He had the best plus-minus on the Knicks. Why? Well, because he's really good defensively. He matters. Unfortunately, the Knicks wasted a really good shooting night from Josh Hart. I don't know if he can replicate that again tonight. If he can, it's a bonus. If not, I think Landry Shamet will get back to playing like how he's played in these playoffs. So don't be afraid to go to him. Need another big OG game. I think he's been incredible in these playoffs. He was the best player for the Knicks in game 2, or game 3, excuse me. But let's go, man. If you're a Knicks fan, you waited forever for this moment. And you can make a case. This is the biggest basketball game that the Knicks have played at Madison Square Garden since the last time they had a legit chance to win a finals. I won't count 99 because they were down 2-0 when they won game 3 of that series. They were huge underdogs without Ewing healthy and Larry Johnson hobbled. We all knew it. Got to go back to 94. And as far as just games being played in MSG, you can make a case that tonight's game 4 is the biggest game played at Madison Square Garden since game 7 of the 1994 Stanley Cup final, Rangers-Canucks. You can make a case as that level of game tonight. So I'm excited. PBM, Super Chat, call in the DNR tomorrow. We need post-game analysis while we're up 3-1. I might have to call in. I was texting with Dave today. Let's go, though, man. Win the game.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Here are these shirts they're giving away to fans going to the game. If I could snag some extra ones, we'll raffle them on the show this week. Shirts and towels tonight at the Garden. The shirt is sweet, though. I love that. Hit the like button. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Let's get to more of your calls before we wrap this baby up. Let's say hello to Carlos the Barber, who's in action right now at the shop. Hello, Carlos.
What's going on, Jake? You hear me?
Oh, I hear you all right.
I'm really disappointed. Roosters take this afternoon. To tell me that the Knicks game tonight is not a must-win, it's crazy. This is a must-win for your New York Knicks. The last thing you want to do is lose tonight and give the Spurs any type of confidence going back to San Antonio. And then to bring up the Yankees, don't bring up the Yankees. Don't even bring back into remembrance that awful series where we got backdoor swept. But to say that the Knicks, that this is not a must-win is crazy. You better win tonight, Jake. You have to win tonight. You don't want to go back to San Antonio with a confident team headed back to San Antonio. That's all I'm saying.
Los, great call. Good luck at the barbershop there. Colin says this looks like a hostage video. Let me say this. It's not technically a must win because obviously if the Knicks lose, it's 2-2. But you're really going to go win in San Antonio again? You could. Is it likely? So say you lose that game. All right, you win game 6. So you're going to win a game 7? I mean, anything happens in a game 7. But the bottom line is this. It's a gigantic game because if you win tonight, you retake control of the series. You know that you're going to have at least one more home game than if you win the championship. So I get it. It's a huge game. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, the series is over. No, because the people said the series was over when the Spurs were down 0-2 and then they won game 3. But tonight's a gigantic game. We don't need to pretend otherwise. It's a huge game. Teams that have a 3-1 lead win the championship 37 out of 38 times in NBA history. 2-2, going back to the Spurs building where they have 2 of the next 3 with home court. They're going to go back to being the betting favorites. Gigantic game. Not technically a must win, but we're close. Now, we can only hope, though, that the Knicks are like the 96 Yankees because that team won a championship. Candy wants to know where I'm sitting. Right next to Spike Lee and Taylor Swift, who's apparently going to the game as well. Wonderful. Dave Brigga says it might be going 7. Let's hope not, Dave. JoJo says if they lose tonight, I have no faith in them winning the series. I agree. I'm not going to completely give up on them, but it makes it a lot harder. And you squandered what you built up. You won the first 2 on the road. Now, look, as long as the Knicks win the championship, I don't really care. But having to live through it is going to be it's tough for the heart rate. Some heart palpitations will be occurring. Let's see if they can do it. Hit the like button if you're just joining us. If you want your full breakdown on OTAs, Nick Faria hopped on at the beginning of the show, and we broke it all down. Quick PSA, if you're coming to Nashville week 1, RSVP to our free event the day before the game at Barstool Nashville, the best bar in Nashville, from 4 to 7. Big event. Going to do a live show from there. Special guests will join me. We're going to have a blast. That's free if you click the link in the description to RSVP. If you want tailgate tickets, they're on sale at a discounted rate till July 1st. It's $75 right now. It goes to $85 for the tailgate after July 1. The link to get your tailgate ticket is linked in the description. It is GameDayFlightCrew.com. GameDayFlightCrew.com. Check it out. Last call to get in the show. Last call to get in on the raffle. If you've never won a raffle prize before, you got 2 choices today. The Knicks prize or a Jets jersey of your choosing. But make sure you enter because I have begun counting all the raffle names. If you missed my show yesterday, you missed an all-timer. It's one that they're going to be talking about for centuries to come. Here's a sneak peek of what you missed if you didn't see it live.
What's
going on with you, brother?
What up, Big Joe?
We're talking about Big Joe. Joe, he's a coach.
Hey, Big Joe's a legend. Yeah, he's enjoying himself. Are you sitting on that lazy boy?
You gotta get that. You gotta get that oiled up or something. That thing is squeaky.
I'm sorry, what?
A can of oil you can get at the store is about $6.
He can fix that with WD-40 and a wrench. He can fix that. That's fixable.
That's easy.
Okay.
He'll be fine. Let him enjoy himself. Big Show's a man.
Big Show, you still think the Knicks are going to win?
I do.
Yeah, I still think they'll win.
Yeah, that's doing a lot better. No more nail paint. Thank you.
We're talking about Big Joe. He's a coach.
Yeah, but what really helped was the surgery. It took away my nerve pain.
You up and around? You walking around, Big Joe? You up and around?
I got you.
Can you hear me? No? I don't think he can hear me.
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
I don't
I'm good to go.
necessarily the Knicks game last night. Oh my
That's
god,
not me.
It was poorly efficient. So it was poorly efficient.
I'm not even rocking at all.
Big Show, why is your shirt
Place
speaking?
at the wrong time.
No words. No words. Gary talking to a fake Big Show. God. Ladies and gentlemen, Beast is dealing with a power outage. So he's not available to send us to the Wheel of Champions. So I called in a favor because obviously Beast is the master of raffle ceremony. I needed someone to do it. Called in a favor. I said, hey, can you come by and spin the Wheel of Champions for us? The Asmaniacs need you. You know who I called? I called the general manager of the Jets. Here's Darren Muji to take us to the raffle wheel.
As you know, normally the Beast Breaker is the one to take us to the wheel, but he's unfortunately not with us today, so I will fill in for him. I am here to throw it to Jake. There's great prizes on the line, so let's go to the Wheel of Champions. Go Jets.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Muji. Thank you, Darren. Great job by the Mooj. All right, here we go, folks. All the names on the Wheel of Champions. Hopefully the New York Knicks can be champions. 2 wins away from doing that. Good luck to everyone. If you win to claim your prize, email me asmanjake@gmail.com. The winner is Colin Wolford. Let's go, Colin. You are the winner.
Say go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
Colin's the winner. Colin, shoot me a note. asmanjake@gmail. And this will be sent to you with a Knicks playoff towel. Colin's in the chat. Wrote, holy cow. Let's go, Knicks, Colin. Love it. You are the man. I appreciate all of you for watching. We're back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. hour. Matt O'Leary hopping on the show. We'll talk Jets with him. I'll give you my full thoughts on tonight's game 3. You guys are the best. Like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll post some photos in the Discord later. So if you're not a Patreon member, get in there. You guys are the best. Let's go, Knicks. Tonight, the New York Knicks win an NBA Finals game at Madison Square Garden for the first time in 27 years. Let's go. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Hit it, Lowski.
Yes! Yes! Let's go, Knicks! This our year, baby! Win the chip!
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane, and if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets!